Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I remain Jim Abdurrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I want to join Mr. Speaker and all my colleagues to congratulate our President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And since you have permitted me to move the matter of urgent public importance as regards the issue of subsidy, I therefore move that this House note that Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on May 29, 2023, made a public pronouncement on fuel subsidy removal. Further notes that President Tinubu is a concerned senior citizen whose agenda is to favor the downtrodden for the purpose of humanity. Aware that there is no provision for fuel subsidy in the 2023 Appropriation Act. Further aware that the current 9th Assembly and the past administration had been giving it illegal backing. Convinced that further legislative actions in supporting Mr. President in delivering dividend of democracy will go a long way in enhancing development because he asked for it, he campaigned for it, and is ready for the task ahead. Further convinced that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Tutor General of Nigeria politics, who have been tested and trusted, is concerned about the masses and has the meaningful objectives to utilize Nigeria fund appropriately with budgetary reforms agenda, particularly on education, health, infrastructural development, agriculture, food security, and above all, security of lives and property as embedded in the 1999 Constitution as amended. This House therefore resolved to salute his courage and boldness to serve our country, Nigeria, with honesty and integrity. 2, to congratulate him for his readiness for national task ahead and service to humanity. And finally, to appeal to Nigerians to remain patient, resilient, and prayerful so that the President can deliver on his promises. I so move, sir, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Chinedu. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Comrade Chinedu Oga Owen, representing Ikwu-Ezasa Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. Mr. Speaker, I stand to second the motion able moved by my colleagues. I hereby second.
Those in support, please say aye. I think it's because of time. I think we'll just put the question. You want to speak against it? Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Your privilege was breached because you were not recognized to speak. Is that a breach of privilege? Am I supposed to allow everybody to speak? Is that how it works? Yeah, you are not everybody. You are a member of this House, and everybody is your unequal footing with everybody. If I see you, I call you. If I don't see you, or if I decide not to call you, I don't call you. That's not a breach of privilege. You speak all the time on this law. Honorable Gwefi.
Honorable Speaker, my esteemed colleagues, my name is Gaza Jonathan Gwefi, and I represent the people of Karu Kefi, Kokona Federal Constituency of Nasarawa State. I come under Order 8, Rule 4, to bring a motion of national public importance on the urgent need to bear the sum of 200
Kuye, please see Osby. You want to second? Then see him after. Okay. Go ahead and second. Go ahead and second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the privilege. My name remains Ademori Aliukuye. I speak for Shomolu Federal Constituency, and I'm from Lagos State. I rise to second the motion as moved by my friend, Honorable Gwefi Gaza. I so second, sir.
Okay, those in support, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Run through it very quickly, please. Honorable colleagues, if you are speaking on any other matter as we move on, because I've been told that just like Honorable said, Osby, so many people wanted to talk on the last motion, but because of time factor, we raced through it. So if you are going to comment on any other motion, you are allowed to just say, oh, and by the way, the last motion, this is that's part of the tricks of the trade. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
The House notes the National Assembly Library Trust Fund was established by the National Assembly for the provision of library equipment and for the provision of state-of-the-art library equipment and related facilities for the training of legislators and staff of the National Assembly for the enhancement of research work of the legislature in handling the process of lawmaking. The House also notes that all things have been set in place for the takeoff and running of the National Assembly Library Trust Fund via the constitution of the Board of Trustees, the appointment of an executive secretary for the trust fund, among others. The House is aware that in the Appropriation Act of 2022, the sum of 255 million naira only and the sum of 118 million was and is appropriated for the National Assembly e-library and dashboard respectively, and no sum is appropriated for the National Assembly Library Trust Fund. The House is further aware that the management of the e-library and provision of electronic library facility hitherto falls within the exclusive mandate of the National Assembly Library Trust Fund and forms the basis for the establishment of the trust fund by this House. The House is concerned
Leader, I haven't forgotten our discussion.
That any further delay
I'm working on it.
in the development of the sums appropriated for the National Assembly e-library and that board respectively will impede the smooth takeoff of the trust fund and invariably affect the attainment of the objectives of the Act in the 2022-2023 financial year. The House resolves that the sum of 255 million for the National Assembly e-library in the Appropriation Act be wired to the National Assembly Library Trust Fund as part of its takeoff, and also the sum of 118 million for the National Assembly dashboard in the Appropriation Act of 2022-2023 be wired for the National Assembly Library Trust Fund as part of its takeoff as well. I so move.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Honorable Muhammad Adam Al-Ghali, Bassett of Federal Constituency, Plateau State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my friend Honorable Gaza. I so second.
We put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. The honourable members, the first business of the day is presentation of report of the Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management. Osby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Gono Ziribo. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State. I represent the good people of Unkwere, Isu, Nwangalanjaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I want to rely on the 6 to bring a matter of privilege for this honorable House.
Your privilege has been breached. Go ahead. What's the privilege that was breached?
Mr. Speaker, sometimes privilege might not be breed.
Ah.
Sometimes privilege might be an expression of one's desire to relate it on this floor. So not that my privilege is breed, but Mr. Speaker, I want to say that it will be good, it will not be right and good, and for my constituents to see me stay in these honorable chambers to hear or listen to what my colleague brought up earlier about fuel subsidy, and you won't allow us, Mr. Speaker, to debate on it. I think this is very important that you should give us a little time to discuss on this motion that was brought up. So I felt that my privilege, Mr. Speaker, I won't say that it has been breached, because I, Mr. Speaker, cannot breach my privilege. But let me say that you shall allow us to express our feelings about, because this is a very important thing that has happened to our nation. But Mr. Speaker, I crave your indulgence to allow members, maybe create a little time for us to debate on this in order to educate the people.
Honorable Osby, this is how we will do it. This is what I was trying to explain to you. There's no breach of privilege. There's no breach of privilege. What we can do, and that's what I was trying to explain, and we've hit the gavel, we cannot go back. So what we can do is, as we go along, anybody that wants to say something on the issue of subsidy, I'm giving the leeway, even though it will fall under the sword of relevance. Even though it will fall under the sword of relevance, and it will not be relevant to now start talking about subsidy on another motion or bill or consideration, but you can go ahead and say one or two things after talking on the matter at hand, and you can say, oh, by the way, Mr. Speaker, on the last matter on subsidy, so and so, we'll have a good time. It will be on record that you said so, and I will allow for the irrelevance. I will allow for it. Do you understand? That way you made your point. Not to establish a rule that your subsidy has been breached because you are not allowed to speak. All right. So we wait as we go along. I hope I'm clear. So you still have your moment to say something, for as long as you are ready to say something on whatever issue is being debated. You now divert a little bit at the end. So, we're talking about the bond insurance as related to Borno State government for projects executed on behalf of the federal government, standing in the name of Honorable Ahmed Safana. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 23rd May. The report is now ready for presentation. Is Honorable Safana here?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected honorable colleagues, I remain Ahmed Ebu Safana, representing Safana Batarida Musa Federal Constituency from Katsina State. I move that the House do receive the report of the Committee on AIDS, Loan and Debt Management on promissory note, program and bond issuance as a refund to Borno State government for project executed on behalf of the federal government. I so move.
Honorable Luseko, Acting Minority Leader.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai, and I represent the good people of Ndoko Opani Federal Constituency of Delta State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by the Chairman, House Committee on AIDS, Loans and Debt Management. I so second.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Please lay your report, Honorable Safana. The second business of the day is presentation of two reports of the Committee on Basic Education and Services, standing in the name of Honorable Julius. Is Honorable Julius here? You're standing in for him? Okay. Standing in the name of Honorable Julius Yobere.
Honorable Market,
Honorable Yobere is invited to move to present the report.
Are you his deputy? Are you his deputy? Or you are a member of the committee? Eh?
Go ahead.
Can you give us in writing the mandate of the committee that you are standing in?
Leader, are you presiding? Are you in charge?
We cannot have two presiding officers, sir. We cannot have two presiding. There is only one presiding officer.
Okay.
And he's up in the chair.
As there's only one house leader. Yes.
By fiat, can we by fiat remove the name of the person that has been gazetted to move this motion and allow another honorable member that his name is not gazetted upon it to move such a motion under this critical point in time?
I believe we've said that, President, and that's been done over and over. The chairman business, maybe you might want to guide us.
No,
the chairman business or DS, anybody wants to guide us on this?
We have precedents already.
That is gazetted.
We have precedents.
It's like a law.
It is a law that only the person can
There's something gazetted under our rules, coming under our rules, except because we have power to regulate ourselves. And for another honorable member to take the position of another honorable member that has been gazetted, such rule must be suspended first.
Wait, what is the rule? Show me the rule that you want to suspend. Hold on. Show me the rule that you want to suspend so that we can quickly suspend. What rule? What rule?
The rules of the House.
Yeah, show me, direct me to the rule.
The rules of the House, which already gives the House of Rep power to gazette and produce other paper.
Which we have done.
And produce other paper. Gazetted a name honorable members in this paper.
No. Okay, so what's the rule?
For us, since we have power under order 1 and order 2 to regulate certain things that are not before us, I think such rules should be taking place. Instead of obstructing virtually everything,
Mr. Speaker, if I may, the votes and proceedings will reflect the actual name of the person who presented the bill on behalf. Who presented the report, the motion on behalf of the chairman. So it doesn't. In fact, it has captured exactly what he wants to. Yes, and we have precedents, Mr. Chairman.
You want to throw light? Okay, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues. My name is Henry Nwauba, and I speak for the enterprising people of Mbitoli Keduru Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I see this as a very simple issue. It's a non-issue, really. We can go under Order 8 through 5 and suspend our rules to allow us to do whatever is exigent for us to progress. So perhaps the chairman for Rules and Business can just move for us to suspend our rules, and then he can take it under his name. And we've done it.
Well, I want to know which rule we're suspending. Okay, the chairman business and rules are spoken. Yeah. Honorable Amos Magaji, continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Amos Gwamna Magaji, and I represent the peaceful people of Zangon Kataf, Jaba Federal Constituency. We are from Kaduna State. I stand on behalf of the Chairman, House Committee of Basic Education, Honorable Julius Ehovere, to move that the House receive the report of the Committee on Basic Education and Services on a bill for an act to repeal the National Examination Council NECO Act Cap N37, Law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 2004, and enact the National Examination Council Bill to provide for the marking NECO National Common Entrance Examination NECC, the Basic Education Certificate Examination BSCE, and the Senior Secondary Certification Examination, Internal SSCE 1, compulsory for every Nigerian child, and provide for the removal of clause without prejudice to the existing powers and functions of the West African Examination Council, WAEC, from the Act, and to design the scope of the power and function of the governing board of the council and for related matters.
Honorable Osai, please second.
Speaker, with
Honorable
kind permission, I respect you.
Honorable
a
Osai,
lot.
please second. Please
I
second.
respect you. If
Please second on with reservation. Just second with reservation.
It's okay.
Or second under duress if you want.
It's okay. I'm coming under duress. I rise to second this motion.
Under duress.
Under duress. Heavily moved.
Unfortunately for you, there's nothing like under duress in our rules. But those who support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Please lay. What was that? Yeah, please lay the report. Which one? The third business of the day is presentation of a report of the ad hoc committee investigating the alleged cases of indiscriminate and unlawful administrative charges on contracts and percentages charges on projects implementation. Standing name on Honorable Francis Udiok. On my own paper, it's number 3. So you are taking Professor Iyobere's report? There's only one here. Which 2 reports?
And I represent the peaceful people of Zangon Kataf, Jaba Federal Constituency. On behalf of Professor Julius Ihuvare, Chairman of House Committee on Basic Education, I move that the House to receive the report of the Committee on Basic Education and Services on a bill for an act to amend National Business and Technical Education Board, Act N12, Law of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to improve the scope of the board to undertake contemporary business and technical education in line with the national policy on education, provide the general purpose of the result, certificates and awards issued by the board, and for related matters. I so move.
Makama. Thanks, sir.
Mr. Speaker, my respected honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Ibrahim Makama Misau, representing Misau Damban Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Governor. I so move. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Is Honorable Udiok here? The third business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committees investigating the alleged cases of indiscriminate and unlawful administrative charges on contracts, percentage charges on projects implementation, standing in the name of Honorable Francis Charles Udiok. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 23rd May 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Udiok.
Dear colleagues, my name is Francis Charles Udui Committee to investigate alleged cases of indiscriminate and unlawful administrative charges on contract and such percentage charges on project implementation. I so move.
Honorable Kabir, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Kabir Idris, and I represent the very good people of Kura, Madobi, Garumal, and Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State, and I rise to support this very important motion to resume to the Committee of the Whole to consider those items on the ground. I so support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Udiok, lay your report. The first order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish the Parliamentary College and for related matters, standing in the name of House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate seeking the concurrence of the House and read the first time on Tuesday, 23rd May. I now invite the Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My respected colleagues, Alhassan Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I represent Dogwa Chudungwada Federal Constituency. I rise, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, to move that a bill for an act to establish Parliamentary College and for related matters, HB 2228, a Senate bill, be read for the second time. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Osby.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleague. Once again, my name is Ugono Ziribo. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State, representing the good people of Funkwere, Isuwangalan Jaba Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion for this bill as moved by the Majority Leader. I hereby second.
Okay, I know you. I'm a majority whip. You want to oppose? You want to oppose your leader's concurrence? Go ahead.
It's a Senate bill. It's here for concurrence.
I am not yet a senator. I am still.
All right, go ahead.
I'm still a member of this house, and I have to jealously guard and protect the independence of this house before I move to the Senate. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marte Monguno Nganzai Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, this bill speaks for itself in the sense that it seeks to establish a parliamentary college. And the duty of the parliamentary college is akin to the duties that is being executed by National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies. So what is the need for establishment of a parliamentary college? It's purely a duplication of duty, especially against the backdrop of the fact that we want to conserve our scarce resources and then deploy it to other sectors that is much more needed, rather than duplicating or creating an institution that whose function that is sought to be made is already being performed by another institution. So against this backdrop, I am opposing this.
You're saying that there's a duplication of functions. Honorable Osai.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished
I want you to
colleagues,
please note that this is not a bill sponsored by
I'm aware.
Honorable Dogwa.
I'm aware.
He is just bringing it
Fully aware.
as procedurally acceptable from the Senate. So feel free.
He
Go
also
ahead.
inherited it.
But it's also important to know that it's not his personal. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your protection. First of all, I want to praise the Chief Whip of this great House, who is on his way to the Senate, a great legislator with a great submission he has made today. Mr. Speaker, recently, last week or 2 weeks ago, commissioned the multipurpose hall of needs. Now, why do I bring this matter? Yeah, I bring this matter because International Law Institute have been in existence for more than 35 years. Affiliated to Georgetown University. Affiliated to Georgetown University. The purpose of it, of that institute, is to enhance knowledge base of congressmen. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, NIS was established to give proper education on an institution called legislature. Every aspect of the legislatures are being studied by NIS. And with a degree and master degree. Now, establishing college is bringing the institution less than the vision of the former presiding officers of this great chamber, who saw the vision to train and retrain staffs of the legislature, who saw the vision of enhancing their degree programs, who saw the vision of enhancing issues of master's degree and PhD today. NIS is running a PhD on legislative drafting and legislative study. Now, bringing this law will be in conflict completely with that institution. Mr. Speaker, by the privilege of this House, I was also a student of NIS, where I acquired a master's degree. Mr. Speaker, are you telling me my acquiring master's degree in NIS is less important than bringing us a college? How do you now vision a college with an university? Mr. Speaker, I believe the intent that is coming from the Senate was not well visioned. Number one, intent that is coming from the Senate is not well visioned. For the
This opposition.
Sir? It's visionless. Because I know when you are a minority leader, that's when NIS was formed. And your vision at that time was to establish an institution that strengthened the legislature. And I believe your vision was even accomplished when you went to NIS to commission the multipurpose or permanent site. A lot has been put in that place. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleague, legal framework enacted by this House is enough to prepare that institution to the highest level. On this ground, Mr. Speaker, any other person that is going to raise the issue in support of this bill is groundless.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
All right. Is there anybody else that has anything different? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, my name is Ahmed Idris. I represent West Federal Constituency of Plateau State. Mr. Speaker, respected colleagues, I thought first is for us to have the compendium of this bill. Without the compendium of this bill, we may not know the intent. It's like somebody asking for University College of Medicine. And then you begin to now jump to say, no, we shouldn't have University College of Medicine because we have university teaching hospitals located in the ABC. We do not know the intent of that bill. And my take is that we should first have the compendium to look at what is the ingredient as contained in the person proposing the bill, not to jump to conclusion. Yes, we have legislative studies, and we should guide it jealously. I'm of that opinion, and I stand for it.
I have worked for it, and I will continue to defend that corporate entity of that institution. And I'm against multiple or duplication of institutions so that we can have reduction in cost of running government. But then it will be fair only if we know, because this is second reading. And the second reading is introduced to us without compendium. So I want to beg that we act in the manner that will reflect our own robustness and our best. Thank you very much.
Chief Whip, I'm assuming that you have seen the bill before you made you imputed an intention. Is it just based looking at the name of the bill?
Speaker, having listened to the submissions made by the having listened to the submissions made by the Deputy Speaker, I am tending to agree with him in the sense that I have not seen.
So you haven't seen the content of the bill?
I am only assuming that.
Okay.
It was
Point of order.
Okay,
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I very much agree with submissions made by the Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, what's your point of order?
My point of order is predicated upon Order 12, Sub Rule 3. Mr. Speaker,
what page? What page, please?
The stage of compendium has passed.
Can you read? What page are you talking about?
Yeah, page 71. Order 12, Rule 3. On the introduction of a bill, a compendium of background information shall be delivered to all members if it is an amending bill, or an up-to-date consolidation of an act or act to be amended shall be delivered unless the bill amends an act previously in this section. On the order, Mr. Speaker, you have ruled over in this House, and on this particular issue. Now, when a bill is gazetted, it goes in law along with the compendium. And a compendium cannot be raised in the second reading. So the second reading on this, bringing an issue of compendium in second reading has been foreclosed by our rules. When gazette is done, it is when, it's like when you gazette, you give a bill and you give a compendium. At this particular point in time in second reading, it is assumed that a compendium has been passed through. And at this level, Mr. Speaker, you have ruled in these issues. I have raised this issue severally. You ruled me out of order. And I'm following that your tradition and convention. That at this moment, when you are still ruling and presiding, that you should honor and preserve your precedence. It is upon this ground, Mr. Speaker, I respect a lot of opinion of Deputy Speaker, but on this ground, I feel you should rule him out. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Osai, the rule you referred to, is it not talking about bills originating from this house? This is a...
No, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
A bill for concurrence.
Yeah, even be
it was not introduced in this house.
No, I'm coming, sir. Even be coming as concurrent and gazetted. The first reading of it is gazetted. It's gazetted. That means when gazetting that bill, a compendium ought to have followed. That's what it is. Whether it's coming as concurrence or it's originating from the House of Rep. Once you gazette, a compendium needs to follow. I'm a student of history, sir.
Honorable Osai.
Yes, sir.
You're a student of history. All right. The issue of compendium, I don't even think arises. What is the meaning of compendium? Compendium is basically to give you background information and all of that.
Details.
Really, what the DS was talking about and what the Chief Whip agreed to. DS was talking about the Neil's setup.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, please can you sit down? Two of us cannot be standing, please. Can you sit down?
I am a minority leader today.
Can you please sit down, please?
I said, Mr. Speaker, speak on that.
He has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, I think the subject under discussion, Mr. Speaker, is a straightforward thing. I want to concur wholly with the submission of the DS and, of course, the position of the House Whip, sir, that this is a Senate bill that is brought before this House for our concurrence. I, as leader of this House, I have not been availed the opportunity to see the compendium. I have not had the compendium yet. And I think in the light of the argument of Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, we need to allow this bill to at least pass the second reading, where we will make sure that compendium and details of the bills is made available, even if it's at the level of consideration of report. When we come, we now look at the intent of the bill and find out, not just to merely assume. When you simply assume in legislation,
I agree with you. Honorable colleagues,
are not doing the right thing.
Honorable colleagues,
this bill says a college.
It's all right. It's all right. Has any?
Yes. Nicholas,
put him under oath.
I'm coming, sir.
When did you read it?
I'm coming, sir.
When did you read it?
No, I'm coming, sir.
Don't come. When did you read it?
No, sir. I must defend myself.
Those. We will go ahead with this bill,
Mr.
and those in support, please say aye. Aye. Just get in there. Ayes have it.
Please, can you sit down,
I don't
please?
believe you've read that bill.
Honorable Osai, take your seat.
I don't believe you've read that bill. Long
Honorable
title.
Osai, take your seat. Honorable Osai, please take your seat and keep quiet.
Right,
take your seat and keep quiet.
Because
honorable members, a bill for an act to establish
Honorable
parliamentary
Osai,
and for related matters.
what you are asking the House to do is to rely on your word that you read the bill that nobody else has read. That nobody else has read. But a very good Abi Henry, very good, healthy debate. Well done, well done. Long title. Have you read the long title? Bill is referred to the committee of the whole. But before we move on, I must say that I agree with Honorable Osai that if it's the same thing that this bill seeks to achieve, then we cannot duplicate. I agree with him. All we have done now is to move on to make sure that it's not this, we find out if it's the same thing or not. If it's the same thing, we kill it. If it's not, then we move on. So, Osai, you made your point. Yes, yes.
Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, respect calling. My name is Ahmed Idris. I represent Wase. I think further to your ruling, sir, the rules and business can be charged with the duty to go through the bill before bringing it up for committee of the whole consideration to look at what is provided for in that bill and vis-a-vis what is contained in Neil's bill, and then we'll have a report that will help us to guide our proceedings in the next sitting of committee of the whole.
Yeah. Chairman, business and rules. I think that is very correct. You and Osai, please look at the contents of the bill and see if it duplicates the functions of Neil's. Bring a report on it tomorrow. If it is a duplication, we'll ask for rescission or whatever. We'll just stop this bill right there and there. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to upgrade the College of Health Technology, Jahun, and provide the establishment of Federal University of Health Technology, standing in the name of Honorable Yusuf Miga. Honorable members recall that the bill was referred. Is Honorable Miga here? Honorable Miga.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Miga is not on the floor. I move that the second reading of this bill be stepped down.
Silence, please, silence.
Bill step down. Third order of the day is consider of report on the Committee of AIDS, Loans and Debt Management on reform to Borno State Government for projects executed on behalf of the federal government. Honorable members recall that the report was laid on Tuesday, 30th of May. Safana will move for its consideration. Honorable Safana.
Wannan naje Charanci naga wani photo da
Honorable Safana, please move for consideration of your bill.
Charanci. Mun je mun bude wani su mazariya in bashi nashi muka yi.
Honorable Speaker, my respected honorable colleagues, I remain Ahmed Ebu Safana, representing Safana Bazarit and Musa Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. Honorable colleagues, I move that this House do consider the report of the Committee on AIDS Loan and Debt Management on the promissory note program and bond issuance as a refund to Borno State government for project executed on behalf of the federal government. I so move, sir.
Honorable Alims, please second. Please second. It's not executive session, though. Just second the.
I am Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halims. I'm from Kogi State. I represent the good people of Ankwa Omala Lamboro Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Dayab. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Please, House Leader, please move that the House devolve to Committee of Supply.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. I rise to respectively move that this honorable House do resolve to Committee on Supply to consider report. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Satome. I saw him earlier. He's disappeared again. Are we fine? Please second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Ifeanyi Chudimoma. I speak for Ihiala Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion that the House should go into the Committee of Supply as moved by the House Leader. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. House moves to Committee on Supply. Honorable Safana, please approach the chair. Okay, Honorable Safana, please. 1 minute. The synopsis.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues. We may all recall that on the 23rd May 2023, the Right Honorable Speaker at the plenary read a communication from the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federation, requesting for a resolution of the National Assembly for the reimbursement of the sum of 16.7 billion naira to Borno State government through the issuance of promissory notes in respect of federal road project executed by the state. After due diligence by the committee now recommends that the House approve the promissory note program and the bond issuance in the sum of 16,772 million naira 486,002 naira 94 kobo as a refund to Borno State government for the project executed on behalf of the federal government. I so move, sir.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. We'll go straight to the recommendation. It's only one recommendation from the committee, and that is that the House approve the promissory note issuance to settle outstanding claims and liabilities of Borno State government in the sum of 16,772,486,002 naira 19 kobo only, based on the claims by Borno State.
Full members, I rise to move that this honorable House do revert to plenary and report progress. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I so move.
Even though we've hit the gavel, Safana, please move. You have verified this thing, right? By your work, you verified it. So why are you saying on your recommendation based on the claims by Borno State? We need to remove that since you've already verified it. So it's not based on, it's based on the claims and your verification. So remove based on the claims. So move for a quick recession, and then we'll quickly come back to it of our last. Just move that we rescind the decision. Move that we rescind the decision that we just did now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we should rescind the decision and take it as the committee recommended.
Okay.
Thank you.
Honorable Sai.
I rise to second heavily moved by the chairman. I so second. Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Those in support that this the last decision is rescinded and the recommendation as amended by removing based on the clients by Borno State is now approved. Please say aye. Let's get say nay. Ayes have it. Plenary. Leader.
At this point, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I rise to move that this honorable house do revert to plenary and report progress.
House
Mr.
reverts
Chairman,
plenary.
honorable members, I so move.
Mathematician, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Aminu Ashimani, member representing Bindamani. I am from Katsina State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my leader, and I so second. Thank you.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. Honorable colleagues, the House in Committee of Supply considered the report of the Committee on AIDS loans and debt management, on promissory note payment and bond issuance of as refund to Borno State government for projects executed on behalf of the federal government, and approved the recommendation of the report as amended. Leader, please move that we adopt the
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise to move that we adopt the report of the Committee on Supply. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Honorable Akpatasin, please second. Very good. Oh, it wasn't meant for you.
Honorable Harry Wababa. Honorable Harry Wababa. Harry Unwa Uba.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. The fourth order of the day is consideration of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Agricultural Technology in Benue State, and for related matters, honorable members recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 4th May. Leader will move for its consideration. Leader, is that your bill? Move for consideration. Up to 9.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My respected colleagues, honorable members, I rise as directed by the Speaker to move item 4 of the order paper, which is a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Agricultural Technology, Opialu, Ojapo, Benue State, and for related matters, HB 2208. Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration of a bill for an act to establish Microbiology Council of Nigeria. Okay? Consideration for an act to establish Microbiology Council of Nigeria to provide for the control of its membership and to promote and foster
Honorable members, silence please.
In the Federation.
Silence please. Honorable members.
Senate bill be considered. A bill for an act to repeal the Fire Service Act, Cap F29 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 and to enact the Federal Fire and Rescue Service Bill and for related matters HB 2218. Mr. Speaker, the seventh order of the day is a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Cap A12 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended to make provisions
Silence,
for the
please,
establishment
silence.
of Federal College of Forestry Management and Tourism, Idare Ondo State, and for related matters HB 1277.
Okay, to program.
Mr. Speaker, the eighth order is a bill for an act to amend the bank employees, etc., declaration of asset, etc., Cap B1 laws of the Federation of Nigeria to reflect the prevail. Amend the National Assembly Library Trust Fund Establishment Act number 11 of 2022 to provide for additional source of fund for the management of the library to enhance the capacity of legislators and National Assembly staff, and for related matters HB 2223 be considered. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move these bills for consideration concurrently. Thank you.
Honorable Sapana, please take your seat, Honorable Sapana.
Honorable Olododo.
Honorable Leke Ajibade. Honorable Halim. Honorable Babajime Johnson from Lagos State.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Babajimi Benson, Ikorodu Consult, please take your seat. Honorable Halims Kogi, please take your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Olododo Abdul Saka, speaking for the people of Ilorin East, Ilorin South Federal Constituency. I'm from Kwara State, State of Albany. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion, the bill highlighted by the leader of the House. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 10th order of the day is consideration of report of the Conference Committee on a bill for an act to repeal the Audit Ordinance of 1956 and enact the Federal Audit Service Act 2023 to establish the Federal Audit Service, provide additional powers and functions of the Auditor General, established audit and for related matters. Honorable members recall that the report was on Wednesday, 24th, 2023. Honorable Hassan Fulata will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa, Kirika Sama, Guri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that the House do consider the report of the Conference Committee on a bill for an act to repeal the ordinance, to repeal the Audit Ordinance of 1956 and enact the Federal Audit Service Act 2023 to establish Federal Audit Service, provide additional powers and functions of the Auditor General for the Federation, establish Federal Audit Board and for related matters, and approve the recommendations therein. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, Honorable Jimo, you want to second your neighbor?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Jim Abdurrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I stand to second the motion as moved by the Chairman of Peace and Rules. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Is Honorable Sununu here?
Unless if it's deputy or any member of the committee.
Okay, Honorable Adejare, quickly, can you move?
Or the leader.
The number 6.
Ejare, are you moving?
Can you move on behalf of Honorable Sununu, your chairman? Number 6. Oh, sorry, 11. 11. Anatomy Act.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I still remain Honorable Dr. Samuel Babatunde Adejare. I represent the wonderful, good people of Agege Federal Constituency. I stand to move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Healthcare Services on a bill for an act to repeal the Anatomy Act Cap A16, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Anatomy Bill 2023 to provide for the establishment of the Anatomy Council of Nigeria, bring the practice.
Where's Honorable Kuya? Is Honorable Kuya here?
In conformity with current local and global realities and for related matters. HB 1637
Honorable J.J. Jimo.
And approved recommendation therein.
Honorable J.J. Jimo.
I so move.
Honorable Ganiu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Abdulganiu Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency 2. I rise to move the motion ably moved by my friend, my colleague, Dr. Adejare. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. The 12th order of the day is consideration of report of the Committee on Health. Honorable Adejare, you move the next one too, please. Number 12.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I still remain Honorable Dr. Samuel Babatunde Adejare, representing the wonderful people of Agege Federal Constituency. I do move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Health Institution on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Health Technology, Benin Sheikh, Kaga Local Government, Borno State, and for related matters, HB 1943, and approved recommendations therein. I so move.
Honorable Babajimi Benson, please second.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Babajimi Benson, Ikorodu Federal Constituency. I rise to second the bill, item 12 on the other paper. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. The 13th order of the day is consideration of report of the ad hoc committee on the state of refineries to ascertain the actual cost of rehabilitating the Nigerian refineries. Other members will recall that the report laid on Wednesday, 24th May, Honorable Ganiu Abiodun will move for its consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. honorable colleagues, once more, my name is Abdul Ghani Johnson.
Leader of the
I
House.
represent the good people
Leader of the
Oshodi
House.
Solo Federal Constituency 2.
Leader of the House.
I'm from Lagos. I rise to move that the House do consider the report of the ad hoc committee on the state of refineries to ascertain the actual cost of rehabilitating the Nigerian refineries and approve recommendation as follows. That continuous legislative oversight of the ongoing rehabilitation works at the Port Harcourt and Warri refineries be ensured in order to achieve results. 2, that the NNPC should ensure the immediate award of contract for the rehabilitation of Kaduna Refinery. 3, that the NNPC should take full advantage of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 passed by the National Assembly to fast-track the rehabilitation program of the refineries, empowered the deregulated business environment, and ensure that the refineries are restored to a maximum 90% nameplate utilization. 4, that federal government should ensure the activation of all the 37 non-active licenses approved and issued to contain private refineries for maximum operation, or such licenses be revoked. 5, that the NNPC pay outstanding sum of 202,503 as balance for the outstanding euros as outstanding payments due to Saipem Nigerian Limited on the contract for the technical plant survey of Warri and Kaduna refineries, as the job was concluded and fully reported.
You are just moving this thing. You are just reading this one. You are reading everything.
No, I'm reading the recommendation. That's all. And finally, that a forensic audit be conducted on all the rehabilitation projects in the 3 refineries. Submitted, sir. Thank you.
Honorable Buba Yusuf. Honorable Buba, please second.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Home Federal Constituency. I rise to move that the House do receive the report as presented. I so move.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Leader, please move that the House do resolve to the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, I rise to move that this Honorable House do resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider report. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so respectfully move. Thank you.
Honorable Wale, okay, please second.
Mr. Speaker, my fellow colleagues, I am Honorable Wale, okay, Ijesha North, Osun State. I hereby second motion moved by my honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, the House is about to adjourn the committee of the whole. I have to dash out. I'm going to leave you in the safe, reliable hands of the Deputy Speaker, leadership of the House. House adjourns to come here.
Respected colleagues, the first bill to be considered for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Agriculture Technology, OPIALU, Ojapo, Benue State, and following matters, and I invite the leader of the House to give the synopsis of the bill. Federal College of Education Technical, Federal College of Agriculture Technical, OPIALU, that you should give the synopsis if you have, otherwise we'll go into consideration. Thank you.
Establishment bill, sir.
Colleagues?
I don't have my glasses.
Clause 1.
Carried.
Clause 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Carried. Carried.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There's schedules, SLT memoranda, long title. Respected colleagues, the second bill to be considered is a bill to amend. Is for an act to The second bill to be considered is for an act to establish Microbiology Council of Nigeria to provide for the control of its membership and provide and promote and foster the practice of microbiology in the Federation and following matters. And I invite the leader to give the synopsis.
Mr. Chairman, like the first one, this is also another establishment bill. And honorable members, as a Senate bill, I think I will inflow for your kind consideration and just allow this bill to pass without any hindrance. It is also to do with the promotion of practice of microbiology in the Federation, and for some related matters, which I believe every one of you can agree with me is a good bill that when passed will definitely impact on the microbiology sector, subsector of our health institutions and other related matters. Honorable Chairman, honorable members, I so plead that you give it a speedy consideration. Thank you.
Colleagues, clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, clause 4, clause 5, clause 6, 7, clause 8, clause 9, clause 10,
plus 11, plus 12, 13, plus 14, plus 15, plus 16, plus 17, plus 18, plus 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, the schedules, explanatory memoranda, and long title. The Speaker colleagues, the third bill to be considered for an act to repeal the Fire Service Act Cap F29 Law Edition of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Federal Fire Service, Federal Fire and Rescue Service Bill and for related matters. And I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill. It's a very good.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, it's an existing law, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, that seeks for repeal in order to provide for the institution of Federal Fire and Rescue Service so much more additional powers and for it to include rescue services in its operations. And Mr. Chairman, honorable members, this is also a bill that I think is good to be able to empower the Fire Service Authority to be able to actually execute their mandatory, statutory services, which also include rescue services and other related matters. As a repeal, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I will plead with honorable members to allow this bill passed, considered and passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Clause 1, Clause 2, Clause 3, Clause 4, Clause 5, Clause 6, Clause 7, Clause 8, Clause 9, Clause 10, Clause 11, Clause 12, Clause 13, Clause 14, Clause 15, Clause 16, Clause 17, Clause 18, Clause 19, Clause 20, Clause 21, Clause 22, Clause 23, Clause 24, Clause 25, Clause 26, Clause 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 48, 49, Clause 50, schedules, explanatory memoranda, long title. Respected colleagues, the fourth bill to consider for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Cap A12 Laws Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended and make provision for the establishment of Federal College of Forestry Management and Tourism Idare on those state and for related matters. And I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the report.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, item 7 for consideration, Mr. Chairman, is a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Cap A12 Laws of the Federation to make provisions for the establishment of Federal College of Forestry Management and Tourism Idare in Ondo State and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, this is an amendment that will allow for establishment of an educational institution instead that will have more powers to undertake studies in agricultural research and other related issues. And on this note, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I feel this amendment will be in the good interest of our people. And the college, when established, will provide for more courses and studies in the area of agriculture and related issues. And on this note, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I recommend that honorable members should allow this bill to pass. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, Clause 1, Clause 2, Clause 3, explanatory memoranda and long title. Respected colleagues, the fourth bill to be considered is for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Cap A12 Laws Federation of Nigeria 2004 as amended to make provision for the establishment of Federal College of Forestry and Management, Tourism. We'll pass that one. The fifth bill to consider is for an act to amend the Bank Employee etc. Declaration of Asset Act Cap B1 Laws Federation of Nigeria 2004 to reflect the prevailing situation in the country and for related matters. And I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, item number 8, which is a bill for an act to amend the Bank Employees, etc. Declaration of Asset Act Cap B1 laws of the Federation, is another important legislation, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. I think that requires the consideration of this House so as prevailing situation in the country can be protected and thereby allowing or subjecting employees of banks to asset declaration and related matters, just like it's done even in other public services and in political office holders. Mr. Speaker, this has a lot of commitment in terms of moral conduct of bankers in their operations, and I think it's good for honorable members to consider and allow this legislation to pass. Thank you.
Respected colleagues, clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, clause 4, explanatory memoranda and long title. My respected colleagues, the sixth bill to be considered is for an act to amend the National Assembly Library Trust Fund Act number 11 of 2022 to provide for the establishment of for additional source of funds for the management of the library to enhance the capacity of legislators and National Assembly staff and foreign matters. And I invite the leader to give the synopsis of the bill. Will it be the bill leader or leader? You have spoken to the documents.
I think as the chair pleases, sir.
Okay.
If you want to allow him,
go ahead.
If you want to allow him answer his father's name.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members, the National Assembly Library Trust Fund Establishment Act number 11 of 2022, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, is a baby of this institution, an establishment act that was meant to allow for the operation of a standard library that should be made available to the institution and for the use of our elected members of the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, is an act that simply intends to create a legal framework where additional source of funds for the management of this important edifice can be enhanced. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I think this is a very good initiative, and the amendment is in the interest not only of the legislature as an institution, but in the interest of our people. Mr. Chairman, honorable members, I therefore plead with honorable members to allow this very important legislation to pass. Please, thank you.
Respected colleagues, now for the consideration, clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, clause 3? Okay. No, I've not seen it. Don't worry, share. You can share the copy with your next neighbor.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chairman, if you look at clause 3, Mr. Chairman, clause 3.
Honorable Goro, welcome back. Honorable Kakale, please take your seat. Honorable Goro, welcome back.
Mr. Chairman, clause 3, clause 3.2, where it says revenue, that's the Sources Library Trust Fund, the levy of 0.05 of the total revenue generated in each quarter by the agencies of the federal government listed in Part B. If we look at the Part B, that schedule, first is talking about NNPC. NNPC is PLC. It's PLC. They first declare dividends to state, federal government, and local governments before such deduction is made, and it's not going to be quarterly. Secondly, it's talking about Niger Delta Development Commission. Niger Delta Development Commission is not a revenue generating agency. Then it's talking about Northeast Development Commission. It's not a revenue generation agencies. And more so, if you calculate all these agencies, assuming they generate 250 billion revenue, the 0.05% of 250 billion is 125 million. Then put it in 4 quarters, and you give it one agency under an arm of government. It's too much. Just a trust fund. So I think the mathematics is not correct. The mathematics is not correct. And this is a National Assembly Library Trust Fund, an arm of government, not federal government. We are not part of federal government. Federal government is executive. And then also is in conflict with Fiscal Responsibility Act. So I think there needs to be some working on it. It's a good thing, but the arithmetic is not good. The legislation may suffer some problem if it gets for assent, because they will look at it. They will look at the conflict it has. We're taking money from the executive, bring it to the legislative arm of government to do our job while we have a budgetary allocation. We can task agencies under National Assembly and fund our National Assembly as a trust fund. But if we want to go into the federation account, that's a different thing. That's a different thing, because National Assembly is part of the federation account. But this is, they said federal government agencies. And these federal government agencies, they generate their revenues and they are charged to the federation account. So I think we need to look at the gamut of the whole idea so that we were not caught in between. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I appreciate your contribution and the need possibly to look at the exemption of Niger Delta Development Commission as an agency of government out of those contributing, and then the Northeast Development Commission, because their formation is based on disaster management and other crises to help manage the situation in the country. So we can't go back again, tax them, and then begin to collect money from them. But on the issue of NNPC, which is a PLC, I also agree. They have their procedure for declaring their dividends according to their financial year. So it's now look at the possibility of couching the language to reflect that entity called PLC, so that we'll have a language that will take cognizance of that one. In terms of the percentage, it depends on the intent of the law. Library is one very robust, unending source of reservoir of knowledge. And so you can not quantify in terms of money, knowledge. I do not want to go that direction. So I will appeal to the couching of these ones, and then we'll have it tomorrow in our next legislative business. I appreciate the observation. Thank you. Are we okay? Thank you. Step down for further legislative action. Hopefully we'll turn it tomorrow or latest Thursday to finish with it. Thank you. You said? And then, Sada, try and bring out those areas of conflict of physical responsibility so that we sort out, we don't want our bill to go and then be returned back to us, if there's any. Thank you. The first report to be considered is for an act, is that of the Conference Committee on the Bill for an Act to repeal the Audit Ordinance of 1956 and enact the Federal Audit Service Act 2023 to establish Federal Audit Service, provide additional powers and functions of the Auditor of the Federation, establish Federal Audit Board, and for related matters. And I invite Honorable Abubakar Flata to move the motion for the adoption of the conference report after giving the synopsis.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The bill was passed by both House and Senate with disagreements on five areas. In clause 34, we adopted the Senate version. So 33, sorry. 34, we adopted the House version. Sorry, the Senate version. Also 35, we adopted the Senate version. Same for 40. 40, subsection E, we adopted the Senate version. And same for also 43A, subsection 3. 3A, we adopted the Senate version. Accordingly, Mr. Chairman, I move that the House do adopt the report of the Conference Committee on this very important bill. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Alims, I thought you are a proud member of APC ruling party. Why must you move to that direction?
I'm flirting, sir.
Huh?
I'm flirting, Your Excellency.
No, that migration is not good for you.
No, it's just flirting, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, distinguished honorable colleagues. Abdullah Ibrahim Halims is my name. I represent the good people of Ankpa, Omala Olamboro Federal Constituency. I rise to support the motion as moved by the Chairman, House Committee on Rules and Business. Thank you.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Colleagues, the second report to be considered is that of the Committee on Health Services on a bill for an act to repeal the Anatomy Act Cap A16 Laws Federation Nigeria 2004 and enact the Anatomy Bill 2022 to provide for the establishment of Anatomy Council of Nigeria, bring the practice of anatomy in conformity with the current local and global realities and related matters. I now invite Honorable Yusuf Tanko Sununu to give the synopsis of the bill. Honorable Adejade, you have the floor. Thank you, sir. Respected colleagues, Honorable Adejade, is it the conference committee report? Is the format of your the format of your report is what is making me ask the question. Yes, but the provider calling for conference. Well, thank you very much. The secretary, I believe, will do the needful when the bill is passed. Clause 1, 2 to 6, 7 to 18, 19 to 26, 27 to 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, explanatory memoranda and long title. Respected colleagues, the third bill to be considered is that of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Health Technology, Benishek, Kagala Hogom area of Borno State. Honorable Pascal. Platter, help us suspend the rule to enable us to take this particular bill. Help us suspend our relevant rule to consider this, because Honorable Pascal Obi is on the floor. On federal
Thank you.
Honorable Samuel, Dr. Samuel, that you take this, give us a synopsis of this bill. Benishek. Thank you, sir. Colleagues, clause 1, clause 2, 3, clause 4, clause 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9, clause 10, clause 11, clause 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, clause 18, 19, clause 20, clause 21, clause 22, clause 23, clause 24. Sure, I've not seen 25. Clause 25, schedules explanatory memoranda. Thank you. Respected colleagues, the report to be considered is that of ad hoc committee on the state of refineries to ascertain the actual cost of rehabilitating the Nigerian refineries, and I invite Honorable Ganiu Abiodun Johnson to give the synopsis of the report. Honorable Johnson, go ahead, sir. Huh? You are sure there's no sabotage? Our technical people. Maybe come forward, Honorable Ganu. Come to Fulata's seat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, honorable colleagues. Once more, my name is Abdulgani Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi Solo, Federal Constituency 2. I'm from Lagos. Now, the issue of refineries. You all agree with me the importance of functional refineries in our country, okay? And especially in the oil industry. It was to that we have 3 refineries in Nigeria, Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna. And the total installed capacity of the 3 of them is 445 barrels per day they produce. However, we noticed also during our inspection that most of them by 2018, they were producing at less than 30%. So federal government now asked them not to produce. So what happened was that they decided to now do trade, what I would call trade by barter, sending the crude oil overseas for PMS. Okay, but the PMS, like my colleague in the other sector, said that they could not determine the quantity of PMS, imported into the country. So, to date, what we have is that Port Harcourt has been awarded. The refinery at Port Harcourt has been awarded. It's under construction. Warri has been awarded. It's under construction. The only one that is still outstanding is the Kaduna Refinery. So part of the recommendation is that government should also urgently award Kaduna Refinery. So we hope that by the time all those refineries are on, we should be able to produce about 445 barrels per day, which will mitigate against oil subsidy. However, because of Dangote that is on stream by July, August, we hope that will minimize this issue of oil subsidy. So my part of the recommendation is that government should continuously, okay, have audit, forensic audit on our refineries. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ganiu, my own input, if you look at the caption of the committee mandate, I have not seen anywhere where you have addressed your recommendation. Yes, sir. Look at the caption. The main trust is for the ad hoc committee to determine the state of the finance in the country. But they have not come out to say this is where we are in terms of the position of the finance. I've not seen their recommendation. detailing us about what is the state of the various refineries. Yes, sir.
I think the first recommendation, we said that a continuous legislative, that's page 54, sir. Page 54 of the report.
If they are unproductive, I think it should form part of your own recommendation to say they are unproductive. And what could be done to sustain them? It should be stated.
Yeah, because, yes.
No, these are findings, but the findings must now culminate into.
No, page 54 is
yes, sir.
Where we have our recommendation.
Uh-huh.
And part of the recommendation, as I said, is that there should be a continuous legislative, because it's still ongoing.
Legislation alone cannot change the narration.
Yeah,
we need things that we can make the executive be aware.
In addition, the last recommendation, sir, is that a forensic audit should be carried.
In other words, you have not been able to determine.
Forensic audit means that there is a continuous dating on the refineries.
Don't avoid. You are a legislator. What we expect from you is choosing recommendation that will come out clear and in clear language. That this is what you found, and these are the recommendations. I will appeal to our colleagues for you to go and read through again. Look through your distance and submit it again so that we do a thorough job. It's an excellent job. You have told us in the report here. It's an excellent job. I must commend you. You have told us where some money are lying somewhere, which we need to now recover. Apart from that, bring out other things that will help also the system. I know you as an associate administrator, former commissioner, Lagos State, and many other things that you can do much more. Yes,
so
because it's not addressing, your recommendation is not addressing the main issue why the parliament saying you have done a good job. We want you to conclude a good job.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Chairman, sir, thank you very much. My name is Jima Ibrahim Olajide. I represent Lagos Mainland Federal Constituency, Lagos State. I've been listening to you attentively, and which the report has been submitted to this house. We can also help them through this house. We either take it out or we accept it. That's my suggestion, sir.
Sir, because it's a good job, and we're at the verge of house is about to winding up. I want us to do a job that the next parliament and government will now use, and let their work be the one that can help the system and help the government in place now. Push forward. Yes, sir. The driver, so I'm guided by the wish of the house. Yes, sir. Sir, sorry, sir. You see, why we're asking for this, government have taken today, as of today, taking a very good policy direction in terms of removing the content of subsidy. We can solve our problem if these refineries are functional. It can reduce the hardship. And so knowing the stage and in terms of their own capacity and whatever they're doing, out of the funding is not, it will help the system. We considered the report last week on the waste stages. Today is about the state. As of this report now, I don't know what is the capacity in terms of operational of Wari or Port Harcourt. At what capacity are they operating? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chairman, sir, with due respect, I beg to disagree a little bit, sir. And I have my reason. That's what I said. That's why I said I beg. I beg. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to say that a part cannot be bigger than a whole. For the fact that the committee has recommended something, and we have gone through the report of the committee itself. We have studied the observation. We can marry the two together and form a position from this house to be part of final decision and become a resolution of the house.
We are trying to avoid, because this is a very technical job. And since it's a technical job, if you want to do on the spot recommendation to run into troubled water, it's too technical. Yes, sir. We can have it back by tomorrow. We are not asking to come and lay a new report. Go through it and bring out those silent issues that will help. Thank you. The same page with you, Honorable Sada. If you determine the actual cost of purchase of this, maybe gravel, it is $100,000. Does the value for money, in terms of the cost of purchase and what you have, are they in consonant? Do they tally? So it's not just finding out the money. Sorry, sir. It's not just finding out the money, but the value for money. Do we have it there against the expenditure? And that's why I'm pushing for that. And maybe I will give you one example, sir. There was an audit report that was done sometimes past 1999 on the plateau. Some people went and purchased what is called peak access in construction language. Peak access means digger. Ordinary digger is that can listen. It was then purchased at the cost of 65,000 naira per one. But because of the language used, an ordinary person will not understand the meaning of peak access is digger. And so the value for the money was not there in terms of there was waste of money, public funds. And this is exactly what I'm a little bit asking from your own technical people that work for you and their own assessment. Can they now say what you have now, what we have expended in the country in this particular area is what the, and at what percentage now are we? So that we now know what the policy of government that have given, apart from Dangote, this can be another source that can enable and to reduce the pressure. As of today, as maybe you may take another thing. While we are still there, already queue is already taking place in the country. We will help the system. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your observations. I want to suggest, however, that if the other recommendations, if we could consider them, and now tomorrow, I will now bring an addendum to support what you are requesting for. So that I can bring
we are not throwing a recommendation.
As the chair places.
Bring out the state, which in my opinion is in line with what you are saying. Let me jump to the next. The committee again noted that year 2010 to 2019, the nation's refineries were performing suboptimally with an annual combined capacity of less than 30%. Therefore, in the year 2019, the NNPC obtained the executive approval. What am I trying to say? These are the things that are a reflection of the intent of creating the subcommittee ab initio. What is the state of these refineries? At what level are they producing? In what year did they go down? What is needed for them to perform optimally? I think this will solve the problem, and you actually have it in your document. But it's just to bring it out, and this should be what will form the findings and recommendations. Not asking for further oversight or an audit report, because that would be saying we have not done the needful. Instead, by bringing this out, we have put to the world what the state of these refineries are, and it's left for further action, either legislation.
I think his submissions are apt. Ganiu.
So, like I said, sir, maybe you will indulge me by presenting the report.
I think don't be in a haste. You have brought out certain things for you.
Yes, they are all here.
Yes, sir.
We can now, extract those information and put them under recommendation.
Assuming in the process of tidying up, this other one will go possibly in conflict of, say, continuous oversight, because by the time you bring them out, we may not find the reason. I'm just giving an example. It will take nothing out of you to use one day and then come back on Thursday for this one to be done. It will take nothing. He didn't complain. You don't have to insinuate.
I'm complaining.
No. He didn't complain. Don't mind Sada.
I'm complaining.
Don't mind Sada, please. Ganiu, don't mind Sada. Don't mind Sada. So we step down. You finish the work, and then we resume consultation on Thursday. Okay. Thank you. Great. Thank you. Well, these are part of the parliamentary gimmicks of what they are saying. For me, I know that Honorable Ganiu Johnson is very comfortable. He has done his job very well, and we thank him. We just want him to end the job in a very perfect way. Thank you very much, Honorable Johnson. Take your seat. Consultation step down for further legislative action. Any other report? Leader, we will leave a leader to do his job. To revert to plan to report progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, honorable members. May I rise?
Chairman, my name is Engineer Mohammed Ali Udil. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by the leader. I so second. Thank you.
Respectful, those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. The House is here to invite plenary to report progress. Respected colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered a report on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Agriculture Technology, Opialu, Ojapo, Benue State, and for related matters, approved clauses 1 to 30, schedules, explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to establish Microbiology Council of Nigeria to provide for the control of membership and to promote and foster the practice of microbiology in the Federation and for related matters, approved clauses 123, the schedules, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Respected colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report on a bill for an act to repeal the Fire Service Act Cap F29 Law Federation Nigeria 2004 and enact the Fire and Rescue Service Bill and for related matters, approved clauses 1 to 20 to 50, schedules, and the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. The House in the Committee of the Whole respected colleague considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria Act Cap A12 Laws Federation Nigeria 2004 as amended to make provisions for the establishment of the Federal College of Forestry Management and Tourism Idare on those states and for related matters approved clauses 1 to 3, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Respected colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report on the bill for an act to amend the Bank Employee ETC Declaration of Assets Act B1 Laws Federation Nigeria 2004 to reflect the prevailing situation in the country and for related matters approved clauses 1 to 4, the explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Respected colleagues, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the report of bill for an act to amend the National Assembly Library Trust Fund Establishment Act Number 11 of 2022 to provide for additional source of funds for the management of the library to enhance the capacity, legislators and National Assembly staff, and for related matters, deferred consideration for further legislative actions. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Conference Committee on the bill for an act to repeal the Audit Ordinance Act of 1956 and enact the Federal Audit Service Act 2023 to establish the Federal Audit Service, provide additional powers and functions of the Auditor General of the Federation for the Federation, establish Federal Audit Board, and following matters approved, adopted the report of the Conference Committee. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Healthcare Services on a bill for an act to repeal the Anatomy Act Cap A16 Law Federation of Nigeria 2004 and enact the Anatomy Bill 2023 to provide for the establishment of the Anatomy Council of Nigeria, bring the practice of anatomy in conformity with the current local global realities, and for related matters approved clauses 1 to 43, 41, explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. The House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Health Institutions on a bill for an act to establish Federal College of Health Technology, Benishek, Kaga, local government area, Borno State, and following matters approved clauses 1 to 25, explanatory memoranda, and the long title of the bill. Lastly, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Ad hoc Committee on the sale of refineries in the country on the need to ascertain the actual daily consumption of premium motor spirits in Nigeria. Are you sure? Leader, I'm sorry.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I rise as directed by the Speaker that this House do adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by the leader that we adopt the report of the Committee of the Whole. I so second.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. That's it. Leader, move for the adjournment of the House. Adjournment of the House to tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, my respected colleagues, I rise to move that this House do adjourn till tomorrow, Wednesday, 31st, the 31st day of May 2023 by 11 a.m. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, respected colleagues. I remain Honorable Vincent Ekene Ofumelo. I represent to Yaya Men Federal Constituency from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to second the motion that the House should adjourn for tomorrow by 11 a.m. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you,
those in favor of the motion say aye. Against say nay. The ayes have it. House is hereby adjourned to tomorrow, 11 a.m.